Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks, a YouTube channel all about the game of Heroclix. I hope you enjoy my content. If you do, please subscribe. This YouTube channel has set reviews, interviews, unboxings, games, and even more. Stay tuned for the next video, and don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks. Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a Marvel Heroclix Avengers Forever set review part 2. So if you're interested in hearing about the super rares and the chases from the Avengers Forever set, tune in and listen to this set review or watch this set review. Today we're joined by Kennie, Peña, and Brian Galley.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me once again, and thank you everybody at home for watching. This is the grading scale that we use for our set review. We start with herbal tea, which is a 0. So if we rate a figure as a 0, that figure just puts you to sleep. It's an herbal tea. If we rate a figure as a 1, it's a single espresso. It's not really impressive. If we rate a figure as a 2, that's a double espresso, which is a more impressive or a second tier figure. And if we rate a figure as a triple espresso or a 3, that's a top tier figure. So the grading scale goes 3, 2, 1, or 0. And we're going to be looking at all of the super rares and chases in terms of their sealed potential and competitive potential from the Avengers Forever set. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the first super rare of the set, which is set number 45. It's the Hulk. He comes in at 200 points, 0 range with a single target. He's got the Avengers and Defenders team abilities, 12 speed with charge, 12 attack with super strength, 19 defense with invincible, and 4 damage with close combat expert. He's a giant sized character. He has 3 stop clicks. He has improved movement, destroys blocking. Also important to note, he's got Avengers, Defenders, and Scientist keywords. He has a trait, Gamma Clap. Once per range attack, when Hulk or an adjacent friendly character would be hit, you may roll 2d6. If you do, and your roll is equal to or greater than the attacker's finalized attack roll, the attack automatically misses all targets, and after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to the attacker. Protected Pulse Wave. His stop clicks are defense. His special defense power for his stop clicks. It says Stop, Regeneration, Impervious, but succeeds on a 4 through 6, and can reduce penetrating damage. Hulk has Safeguard, Outwit. And then he also has a special damage power that he gets throughout his dial, which says Battle Fury and Close Combat Expert. So he has Close Combat Expert throughout his entire dial. Let's start with Brian. Brian, what do you think about this Hulk? What would you rate it, and what do you think about the Hulk?
Oh man, this Hulk is a Hulk, like definitive dial. Gotta love that 19 defense with the Defenders team ability. There's a fair bit of cheap wild card in the set. You pull him in sealed, easy to run, easy to find someone that can benefit from that 19 defense and just kind of get carried around by Hulk. He is a giant, so he can carry people around, as long as they're smaller than him, which is pretty much everyone. Got great values, great stop clicks. In sealed, he's an easy 3-star triple shot. He will dominate any event he's pulled in. In constructed, 200 points is a lot to ask. But still, that Gamma Clap is a tempting defense. We might actually see some Hulks show up in Constructed. I'll give him a two shot for Constructed.
Okay. Kenny?
No, he's you pull him, you're in a good driver's seat to win your sealed event 100%. He is a triple espresso easily. Um, he he pretty much when he needs to reduce his penetrating damage, yeah, he has impervious normally on some of those clicks, but they're always followed up by those stop clicks, which in Exo Swords you can ignore, not in this field set. So it's pretty safe to play him. He the best way to beat him is up close, but that's the best way he wants to be too, because if you try to shoot him, it's a gamble. He like Brian said with the defender CA and things like that. What more can you ask for 200 points? Triple espresso. I do think in constructed, there is potential here. He reminds me a lot of Nimrod. I think he's a little bit friendlier to build around than Nimrod. And even Nimrod in Pauper and some other formats made some noise. I think Hulk is a step up above that, so I would give him a double in constructed.
Yeah, I definitely I think he's a 3 in sealed. I mean, for me, I don't know though. Like with in constructed, I mean the fact that he is outwittable, where you can outwit his charge, and then that then he kind of just like, I mean, for 200 points, you kind of immobilize him that way.
He does have a 3 to 6 willpower rollout.
Yeah, that's true. And but I mean also like, I mean, how would you defend against the Hulk in like just in any scenario? I guess in sealed. I mean, like you said in our last video, Brian, you had Reptile.
Reptile. I mean, I did eventually lose the Hulk, but it was a tight game. My dice were a little bit better. I might have been able to pull it off. Reptile is a solid answer to him in sealed, just because he can take a hit and not drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So outside of that, though, yeah.
But you can't really do that with many figures, though. Like just go up and base the Hulk because you're just gonna get eaten.
Yeah, if you have outwit, being able to open up that initial invincible clicks, that's nice. Red Widow can act as a pretty good can opener, get in there, get some blade rolls in. But yeah, there is no silver one size fits all answer to taking on the Hulk and sealed. You just gotta get in there and hit with numbers.
So I'd like to see him definitely appear in some constructed teams. That would be pretty cool. So, all right, let's take a look at the next super rare, which is Echo. Set number 46. She is 100 points. She has Cosmic Energy, Team Ability, 5 range with 2 targets. She's a flyer. She's got 10 speed with hypersonic speed, 11 attack, 18 defense with invincible. She also has a stop click with invincible at her last click. She's got 3 damage with exploit weakness. Avengers, Cosmic, Phoenix Force, and Warrior keywords. She's got a trait, Cosmic Mimicry. At the beginning of your turn, you may give an Echo token to another character within range, removing any from any other characters. Echo can use the displayed standard powers of a character with her Echo token. So that's Echo. Kenny, what do you think about Echo?
So Echo is another triple espresso, I believe, in this sealed format. For half the points of the Hulk, she plays a little bit better with the teams. Hulk is more of a protector. Echo makes everyone around her more important by taking those powers and utilizing herself. She doesn't have nearly as much staying power as the Hulk does, but listen, stop click, cosmic energy, 8 clicks for 100 points, that ain't too shabby. You pull her, you're pretty happy. You're in a good spot. You're hoping you're not going up against the Hulk, but guess what? If you need to, she's not a bad candidate. I do think in constructed, it doesn't bode as well for her. She's definitely not bad. I think she has slight potential, but probably not going to see real significant competitive play. I'll give her a single espresso because her kit is unique. Well, maybe not unique, but her kit is interesting. But I think that's me just being a little generous. But triple in sealed, single in constructed.
Yeah, I'm in a similar place to Kenny. For constructed, she's only a single shot. What she does is neat, but I don't think she does it as well as X of Swords Hope. She's just she's nice, but she's not really what you're looking for constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Sealed though, yeah, easy triple shot. She can carry a sealed team all on her own.
Yeah. I tend to agree with both of you. I think Echo, she's very good in sealed, having the hypersonic with the penetrating damage and the stop click, all for 100 points, and cosmic energy with the invincible. That's really strong, but it's just not going to be strong enough in constructed, given what's currently out there in constructed. So I would give her a 3 and a 1. 3 in sealed and a 1 in constructed. All right, let's take a look at the next super rare, which is She-Hulk. She-Hulk is set number 47A. She comes in at 100 or 50 points. She has the team player, team ability, 0 range with 2 targets. At 100 points, she has 10 speed, 11 attack, 19 defense with invincible, 3 damage with a special. She starts with a speed special. She has super strength. Lots of keywords. Avengers, Brute, Celebrity, Defenders, Fantastic Four, Heroes for Hire, and Shield. She has improved movement, elevated, and destroys blocking. She has a trait. If you don't let me go first, I'm going to come to your house and rip up all your maps. I really like that trait. When determining first player, if you aren't first player, this game modify She-Hulk's attack and defense +1. So that's just a fun trait. I really like that. Her speed power is charge and plasticity. Her damage power is Jennifer Walters' Attorney at Law. At the beginning of your turn, choose one effect to last until your next turn. Either Outwit and Perplex, or choose an adjacent friendly character. That character has Safeguard, Outwit, and Opposing Perplex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Brian, what do you think about She-Hulk?
She'd be a figure I am thrilled to pull in sealed. Absolute beat stick. Sealed, you're not likely to have a theme team, and you almost don't want a theme team with her to make sure that you have the best chances of going second. That's what they hear often in clicks, but getting that 12 attack, 20 defense on her top dial is phenomenal. The damage specials that the sneeze at either, Outwit and Perplex, are solid powers, and if need be, she can shield another character, but that's probably not why you're running her. Triple shot for sealed, constructed, her 50-point line. To me, the immediate comparison is Sakaar and Iron Man. She can put out similar values to him, but just doesn't have the same reliability at that 50-point slot. I don't think she's going to see a ton of constructed play. Probably just a one shot for me in constructed.
Kenny?
So compared to the other two, I think she falls a little bit short as far as how easy it will be to win a sealed tournament with her. That doesn't mean I disagree with Brian. That doesn't mean that I think he's wrong on any point. I think I'm more inclined to give her maybe a double espresso if I really want to, like 2.5, because she really doesn't match up to Hulk and Echo, in my opinion. That being said, since not many super rares will be pulled most likely at your sealed event store, and she's one of the few, she is going to stand out then, against most of the CURs. That's pretty much all I can really add there. I do think in constructed, if she had access to that special damage power on her 50-point line, even for one click, that would I think that would make her a double espresso in constructed. The fact that she doesn't, even though she is good, and I do see the comparison to Sakaar and Iron Man, I get it. She's not Sakaar and Iron Man, so for that, I'm going to say single espresso. There might be some fun shenanigans with that trait, and then swapping her out at the beginning of the game because technically that happens after. I don't know. But other than that, like as much as I want to rate her higher, she's probably single and constructed. I'm gonna say double 2.5 in sealed.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, it's sealed. I think I'd put her. I mean, having that 20 defense is just really good. I might give her a 3 in sealed, but maybe 2.5. I'm not sure between you and Brian, Kenny. I'm not sure. But in constructed, yeah, I'd only give her a 1. I think. But yeah, I do like the She-Hulk. She's just definitely a fun figure. For me. Let's take a look at her Winter Guard variant. We have Winter Hulk. This is the Prime, one of the super rare Primes, set number 47B. She's 75 points. She has 0 range with a single target, 10 speed with a special, 11 attack with super strength, 18 defense with invulnerable, 4 damage with a damage special. She has a trait that says friendly standard characters that are adjacent or have the Winter Guard keyword can use poison. She has a speed power that says charge and flurry, and her damage power says battle fury and close combat expert. When Winter Hulk KOs an opposing character, after resolutions remove all action tokens from her. So she's really hitting for 12-5 when she charge flurries. So that's nothing to scoff at. Brian, what do you think about Winter Hulk?
Love Winter Hulk. I'm not sure I'd be. I feel bad saying this is the Prime. I'm not sure in sealed I'm as excited to see her as I am to see the regular She-Hulk. Just doesn't have the same, like stellar numbers that the She-Hulk can bring, but she is certainly a potent figure. Probably give her 2.5, 3 shots for sealed. Constructed, tough for me to really.
Our intuitive minds want to play with her and make her work because there is something there, but practicality.
She is so tempting. There is a team there around there, but I'm not sure I can quite see it. Handing out poison can be an incredibly potent effect. And, well, I mean, the poison character can't have been moved or replaced. So when she runs up, she's not going to be able to poison. But that doesn't mean everyone that she just moved into base contact with was moved or replaced that turn. That can be a crazy swing when she suddenly moves up bases 3 characters and they all just deal free damage. I'm going to give her a 2 shot. In reality, it might be a little lower, but there is something there.
Yeah.
So Kenny, go ahead. What do you think about She-Hulk here? Or Winter Hulk?
She's a fantastic Prime, and I'd be happy to pull her. The synergy to pull off what she wants to do in this set just isn't there. She wants friendly standard characters, and it's hard. While this set does have 4 different characters that can generate standard characters, actually multiple, because you have characters that can generate characters that can generate more characters, like Nick Fury, the Shield, Hydra, Skull, Hydra Officer, etc., etc. If you somehow get a mishmash of those, and you can continually put a body where if she stands adjacent to them, now you have a pulse waving Hydra agent that can also poison. That's pressure. That's annoying. But man, hoping to, well, first of all, put a super Prime and then pull the corresponding figures, likely not going to happen. And it's funny, like, she's good, but unfortunately, she's only a double espresso to me because trying to make her work with just the probability of what you need is unlikely going to happen. However, if you do pull her and you do play her, she's not a pushover. She is, like you said, Anthony, she's a 12-5. You find a way to charge and flurry someone and do 10 damage, okay. In constructed, I feel like her best friends are going to be the Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, autonomous characters such as Mary Jane, Daniel, and such. They're the standard characters. They can actually move into position, not take your action total. You're not getting the poison that turn, but once again, you're applying the pressure. You KO them, you're replacing them with other characters. If you are not KOing them and going after her and she's hard to take down, well, they're not pushovers either. They can turn off your shape change, they can turn off your outwit, they can turn off your mastermind, blah 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 blah. So like there's like Brian said, there's something there. What I just gave you is like a small piece of an entire plan because I haven't figured it out yet, but there definitely is something there to play around with. She is, in my mind, worthy of a double espresso and constructed. As of right now, she's a single espresso until, well, I have more time to figure it out.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Winter Hulk in sealed, she's probably like a 2.5. In constructed, I'd say she's a 1 right now until there's some kind of way to make that poison trait work. So, with other figures, but I think, yeah, I mean she's still a really cool super rare prime that I'd be happy to pull for sure. So let's take a look at Dormammu. Dormammu is or Dormammu. Dormammu.
Dormammu.
Set number 48. He's a super rare. He's 125 points with Cosmic Energy and Mystic's team abilities. 7 range with 2 targets. So this is the second 7 range figure we've seen in the set. 8 speed with running shot and flying, 12 attack with a special, 18 defense with invincible, 4 damage with range combat expert, deity, monster, mystical, and ruler keywords, improved targeting, hindering. He has a trait, Lord of Chaos. Leadership, when Dormammu uses it and succeeds, you may instead generate a set number 007 mindless one on click number 1. If a 6 was rolled, you may instead generate a set number 39 Baron Mordo on click number 4 if there is not a friendly Baron Mordo on the map already, or KO a friendly mindless one to heal Dormammu 2 clicks. Then the attack power is that he has is Energy Explosion, Penetrating Psychic Blast, and Knockback. When Dormammu hits, for each 6 in the attack roll after resolutions, you may generate a mindless one on click number 1 adjacent to a hit character. So, all right, there's a lot there to kind of process. Kenny, what do you think about Dormammu?
Again, unfortunately, getting what you need for his entire kit to work in a sealed environment is difficult. If you do, congratulations, you're going to have a fun time. If you get him by yourself, he's a very potent range attacker, and he's very good at it for 125 points. Kind of like what we said with some of the rares that we saw before. I think like Wonder Man was one of them, 100 point uncommon. Is he good? Yes. But can you get what he wants to do more economically friendlier to you, such as Hawkeye or Winter Soldier in commons? I think Dormammu falls in that same category here, where again, he's very, very good, but for 125, and if you pull something else that you're more likely to see, they're going to fill that role, in my opinion, a bit better, unless you get Baron Mordo and 1 or 2 mindless ones. If you get those, have fun. So it pains me to say this because again, you pull this Dormammu, you are in a good place, and he brings offense. He, to me, actually is probably a single espresso, maybe a double espresso, if you get everything you need. In constructed, it's a similar story because I think in constructed you can control what you have. You can start playing with Mordo. You can have 20 mindless ones if you want and just flood the field. But then again, for 125 points in this constructed world that we live in, he falls a little short. So I honestly feel like he's probably 1.5 at best in constructed. and he is probably a double at best in sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm much the same. You can't ignore that he's got that 12 attack, 4 damage, and RCE. He can be swinging 13s for 5s. He sees
through hindering
stealth. Yeah, but there's a ton of. He deals penetrating damage. He's got energy explosion, so he can, if your opponent clumps up, he can punish the whole bunch of them. He will do work for you in sealed. You pull him, you're going to have a good time in sealed. You're not going to be able to use him to his full potential, but you can't get hung up on that. Constructed, yeah, if I can say 125 points is just a lot for what he brings. He is a very potent figure, but he's going to get out actioned, I think, in today's meta. So I'd only give him a single shot for constructed.
But what would you give him for sealed? Would you give him a 3 or would you give him
two shot?
2? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you pull even a single -1, I'd up it to a 3. But
if he had like 1 -1, yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, you get like even if you only get the 1.
Yeah, because he's got 7 range, 2 targets, and with the penetrating 13 for 5 running, that's pretty good. And plus, he's got mystics with a long dial.
Yeah, he has tools to succeed. He just eats a big chunk of your team to do it.
Yeah,
and he's not the sort of like auto win that like say Hulk brings you for that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So I would say a 2 and a 1, 2 in sealed and a 1 in constructed. Well, let's take a look at the next figure in this set, which is Iron Man. This is set number 49. This is like the traditional Iron Man. 200 points, Avengers team ability, 6 range with 2 targets, 8 speed with running shot and flying, 12 attack with a special, 18 defense with impervious, and he's got 3 stop clicks. He's got 3 damage with range combat expert, improved targeting hindering. He's got a trait, run the numbers, Jarvis. At the beginning of your turn, choose 1 effect to last until your next turn. Iron Man has free, half speed, then move. Or he has, Iron Man has safeguard, outwit. So you can pick one of those to last until your next turn. He has an attack power, energy explosion, and pulse wave. When Iron Man uses pulse wave, it deals 2 damage instead of 1. And after resolutions, you may choose a hit character for each of Iron Man's action tokens. For each character chosen, remove one of Iron Man's action tokens and give it to that character. And then he has a defense power that says stop. So his stop clicks say stop regeneration and toughness, super senses, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. So, yeah, I mean, the one thing I wasn't sure about how you play this with the pulse wave. But when he hits with the pulse wave and then he chooses a hit character for each of Iron Man's action tokens. Yeah. So if Iron Man uses that pulse wave with 1 action token,
right,
can you then put an action token on him and then after resolutions remove both?
The action token comes before any after resolutions effects. Yep. So yeah, I'll have 2 action tokens, then each token you choose a character. You can choose the same character twice, and you just dump those tokens on them instead.
Yep. Very Tony Starkish, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he can potentially pulse wave every single turn, long as he keeps hitting people. And with the 13 attack with his RCE, that's likely.
Yep.
Kenny, what are your thoughts on Iron Man in general?
Oh, triple espresso, 100%. He brings the offense. He brings what most people are comfortable with, which is move and attack, high octane offense, and it's very easy to run. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. Yes, the attack power is very wordy, but trust me, once you read it once or twice, even the most beginner players will understand. His weakness, which we did just discuss, And it's not likely, but guess what? We play a dice game. It's going to happen. Trust me. You don't want to miss with him. You miss with him, he's a sitting duck. And he does not, while he does have 3 stop clicks, they're not nearly as potent as the Hulks are. So he's still a triple espresso. He's still good. He favors the offense a little bit more than the sustainability that Hulk does, even though Hulk brings his own offense as well. And he also does bring Safeguard out with essentially all game, while Hulk has to get on those stop clicks. So there's little differences here and there where there's some pros and there's some cons. It would be amazing if you pulled both of these and you want to play both, but that would be cheating because that's 400 points. So he's definitely a triple espresso when it comes to sealed. In constructed, I'm going to give him single. I like him. I think there's potential. I think Hulk has the better kit to live in constructed than Iron Man does, but I'm not going to. I'm lying to myself if I say I sit here and say like he's a bad choice.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, you pull him in sealed, it's triple shot. You run him, you probably win. It's a good day to be had. Constructed, yeah, people are going to balk at the 200 point cost. I can see a world where he does well. Probably doesn't win, but takes down some WKOs, local type events.
Yeah,
I can see him performing there. I'll be generous. I'll give him a 2 shot for constructed.
Yeah, I mean, what's the strategy against him? Like, did you just go base him and try to hit him off his pulse wave?
Yeah, you got to get him off that pulse wave. You want to try to get some. He does take penetrating damage, so he's susceptible to your side blasts, your exploits, that sort of stuff. If you can run characters like Beast, strip the safeguard off of him, get the outwit pulse wave. There are ways around him. But I mean, yeah, he starts landing those 2 damage pulse waves that token you up and prevent you from attacking back. It can be a very short game if he gets those hits in.
Mm-hmm.
Incap. When he has a token and you have incap him.
Yeah.
It's a very rare time you're ever going to hear any of us say incap is the way to beat him. That's how you do it. There's not much incap in this. I think Mantis has it. There's a few others, but Swordsman. There you go. Now, granted, if you know incap's your weakness, you should be going after those characters and getting them off the map. But yeah, incap and making him miss, and I would say perplex down his attack. But then he has pulse wave, and most likely you're going to be in the range of pulse wave, which turns off the perplexes that were done. So it's very tricky. There are ways to do it, but actually doing them is going to be tough.
Yeah, so I'm going to give him a 3 in sealed and a 1.5 in constructed. Hopefully he does well in constructed because he's a fun figure. I like seeing all these 200 point single starting line figures in this set. It's very different from what we've had in the past. So let's see. Let's take a look at the next figure after Iron Man is Miss America. America Chavez. Miss America is set number 50. Avengers team ability, 50 points, 0 range with 2 targets, 8 speed with a special, and flying, 11 attack, 18 defense with impervious, 3 damage with empower. She has improved movement blocking. She has her special speed power is hypersonic speed, but gains passenger 2 instead of passenger 0. And then her damage, she has a defense power in her last 2 clicks, which is combat reflexes, toughness, and willpower. So Brian, what do you think about Miss America?
Well, not the best pull to have in sealed. I'd probably give her a high 1 shot, low 2 shot. She's solid. She's got decent value, decent powers. She's she's a respectable pull sealed, but she's nothing amazing there. Constructed though, I mean, she's got great keywords, Avengers and celebrity, cosmic to a lesser degree these days, but still pretty good. That speed special of being able to carry while doing hypersonic is something we don't really ever see. and that is a notable thing. Alpha Strike teams are going to love her for the fact that she can carry 2 people in, drop them off. She's got decent positioning control. She can hypersonic in, and then for the second move, pick up characters and fly them away. The characters she carries on the first half of the move don't have to be the same characters she carries in the second half. There's a lot of little games you can play with her, and I think that flexibility is going to appeal to certain teams. I can see her getting 2 shots for constructed.
Kenny?
There's nothing much more I can add to the constructed part. I think he hit every single note, except the fact that Young Avengers is amazing. We talked about that so much in the first one. I can't wait to have like a fun 500-point stupid game where we can just theme team and then Young Avengers. Back to Sealed. I'm gonna give her a double. I do think that we saw that there was a lack of flyers in the commons and uncommons. So if you pull her as your super rare, wow, that's not what you really want to super rare. She does it actually really, really good because she can carry 2. So I give her a little bit more utility love there. Then again, for 50.6 clicks, hypersonic with Empower, she plays nice. She's team friendly. She destroys blocking on movement. And she can carry. So if you end up pulling the swarmy type of team, she actually is a good character for that. If you pull characters that are mainly high point characters, so you only fit like 2 or 3 or 4 characters on your team, then she's not as appealing, even though having a flyer is always nice. You look at the potential she has and what she could do. Can't get too hung up on that sometimes, but in the grand scheme of all the super rares that we're looking and all the characters and what we just saw, I'd still put her as a double. I think double both ways. I'm going to say double in Sealed, double in Constructed.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think she's a double espresso in Sealed and a double espresso in Constructed. I mean, if you pull in Sealed, you pull someone with Empower, then she can go in and hit for 4 damage. So that's kind of cool. But I mean, just she's a lot of value for her points of 50 points. So I like her. Let's take a look at the next figure after Miss America, which is Ghost Rider.
Fun figure.
Mm-hmm.
Set number 51. Wait, did I skip a figure? No. Okay,
No.
Ghost
fun
Rider.
Figure, yeah.
Oh, fun figure. Ghost Rider is set number 51. Yeah. He's 75 points, 0 range with single target of Avengers and Mystics team ability. 8 speed with charge, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with exploit weakness. He does have a stop click. His last click is stop invincible. This is the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider. Keywords are Avengers, Fantastic Four, Monster, Mystical, Shield, and Wakanda keywords. Improved movement elevated. He has a trait, your pain fuels me. Poison. When Ghost Rider uses it and damages 1 or more opposing characters, after resolutions you may heal him 1 click. So his attack power is Quake and Giant Reach 3. So that's what we have for Ghost Rider. Kenny, what do you think about Ghost Rider?
No, he's good. He's not as durable as some of the other figures we've seen, but man, penetrating, Giant Reach, Quake, that's something to sneeze at. And then if you get too close to him with poison that can heal you, the super senses is, it's risk reward where you could take no damage or you take a lot of damage. Thankfully, he does have ways to heal up. He does have a stop click, so you can't really one-shot him. His stop click is amazing too with hypersonic and really, really solid combat values here. He's a swarm killer team. So your opponent pulled a lot of those little small weenie guys. He's gonna clear the field real easy. I think he is somewhere between 2 and 3. I'm gonna give him 2.5 shot here. I do think in constructed though, what really would have put him up the top is if he healed for each character he poisoned instead of 1 or more. But this is the world we live in. So I think he misses the cut for constructed. I think he's an herbal T, unfortunately, even though I really, 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 really like him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing him on casual nights, but he's not gonna see any playing instructed, unfortunately,
Yeah,
outside of
unfortunate.
those funsy nights. But yeah, this is a really fun dial. In sealed, he's not the carry your team instant win triple shot necessary figure, but you're gonna have a good time if you run him. He's got the deceptively long dial with the ability to self heal off poison, and that stop click when he hits that is just brutal, making that 12 damage, 12 attack, 4 damage, 12 damage be something. Penetrating
Very
swing
amazing.
from 10 squares away. Nice. All the while your opponent's struggling to chew through that healing and that stop, he's dishing out Mystic's damage. Easy two shot.
Yeah, I think for sealed, he's definitely a two-shot, double espresso. For constructed, though, he's an herbal tea. He's not going to be used at all. But I do like him. That giant reach quake exploit, really cool. A lot of characters in the set with improved movement elevated. So instead of having a lot of flyers, I'm noticing that a lot of characters just have this improved movement elevated. So
Mhm.
that's really cool. Kind of different there. All right, so let's take a look at the next figure, the next super rare, which is Immortus. Immortus is set number 52. 65 points, cosmic energy, team ability, 8 range with 3 targets, 8 speed with phasing teleport, 11 attack with incapacitate, 18 defense with super senses, 2 damage with probability control. His dial is very interesting though, because he alternates like different powers set on each click. So then in his second click, he gets running shot, pulse wave, and outwit. He has the Cosmic Council of Kang's deity, future, past, and ruler keywords. 2 traits. The first trait is I know your past and your future. At the beginning of your turn, if there's no d6 on this card, roll a d6 and place it on this card. When a character within range rolls an attack roll, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace a die in the roll with it. And then another trait, you underestimate me yet again, once per turn. When an opposing character within range and line of fire attacks, before the attack roll is made, you may guess if the attack will hit at least one target or if it will miss all targets. If you do, that attack roll can't be re-rolled, and after resolutions gain 2 mission points if you chose correctly. So, a very interesting figure here. Kenny, what do you think about Immortus?
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts here. He is an interesting character. I do think he's worth playing in sealed, not so much for the mission points, because guessing in 10, first of all, playing 10 turns and guessing correctly each time, most likely not going to happen. However, he is a die replacement effect, and that first trait is enough to warrant playing him. There isn't a whole lot of probability control outside of theme team probs, which will be very easy with the Avengers keyword. But having hard prob and a die reroll on top of that is very, very nice. He does have 8 range, triple target, in cap. I know that's not the sexiest thing, but there are some applications in this set that actually come in play. And push come to shove, he has pulse wave, which if he does get hit onto it or he gets outwit, he's bringing utility. He is. I think if you pull him because of all those things, he is a triple shot. I think in constructed with mission point teams and things like that, he's probably a single, maybe 1.5 shot. The fact that he can rack up those mission points, if you play him with other mission point character, he does have die replacement effects. I can see something there, potential there, of just being a nuisance and being annoying. But I'm also trying to be realistic, and probably not going to see it. But there's something there. So I'm going to leave it at 1.5 at most when it comes to constructed and triple for sealed.
Brian, do you?
Yeah, agreed. One and a half sounds fair for constructed. He die replacement effects, especially with 8 range, doesn't even need line to do the replacement. Phenomenal. But the rest, yeah, I don't see the mission points carrying him through to the full 2-star. But there are definitely teams that can make use of that, even if 65 points is one of the higher costing die replacements we've seen. Sealed, give him a 2, maybe 2.5. He's not going to win games for you on his own. The 2 damage, the in-cap, nothing to write home about. But that sort of consistency that his prob and his die replacements can bring you in sealed is a lifeline in what is, generally speaking, a very inconsistent format. This is top-tier support for sealed. You pull even one decent attacker to supplement him with, and you'll go far.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he's 65 points is a lot for that kind of just like kind of a supporty type figure. But, he's got a lot of interesting things going on. I mean, if he takes 3 damage, he gets hit onto 8 speed, 12 attack with running shot, pulse wave, and outwit, which is interesting. Also, I mean, I find it interesting about him is that, even if he does use that mission point ability, he doesn't necessarily care about the mission points because he can lock in that attack roll so that it can't be re-rolled, and then he can replace the die with it. So, those things combo together so that he can kind of make you miss and you can't re-roll it.
Yeah, I mean, in the situations where, doesn't happen often, especially in sealed, where your opponent's got a lot of probs, you can just deny them the ability to use them. So, it's an excellent thing to point out.
Yep.
But yeah, I think for sealed he's just a 2. I think for constructed he's probably a 1.5. I think. Let's take a look at Sentry. This is the non-prime Sentry. Set number 53A. He comes in at 115 or 50 points, and he has an optional 5-point trait. At 115 points, he has 12 speed with a special and flying. He's got the Avengers team ability and 0 range with single target. 12 speed with flying and a special, 12 attack with super strength, 18 defense with invincible, 4 damage with a special. Avengers, Brute, Dark Avengers, and Horseman keywords. The optional trait says when Sentry would be KO'd, you may instead replace him with a set number 53B Prime Sentry on click number 7. That character gains immune until your next turn, protected pulse wave. He also has a trait Unstable. When Sentry is targeted by mind control, modify his defense -2. His speed special is charge and stealth. His damage special is perplex, but only to target other friendly characters. When Sentry uses it, choose one for the targeted character to use until your next turn. Charge and invulnerability. Brian, what do you think about Sentry here?
Oh, I love this Sentry. In sealed, that full I can't talk all of a sudden. Full point dial is just a beat stick that will give your opponent some trouble. He may not have the overwhelming defensive strength that the Hulk does. He might not have the sort of attack prowess that Iron Man does, but he still is in a similar class to both of them, I feel. You can easily just ride him by even halfway decent pulls to a solid finish in sealed. That perplex special, handing out charge or invulnerability, just chef's kiss, beautiful, great on every team. I would give him an easy 3 shot for sealed. Constructed, I'll be honest, he I can see him shining constructed too, but only on the 50-point line. Being able to give out the charge and the invulnerability can help a lot of teams out, and you can slap an extra 5 points on there to get access to the Prime, which we'll get to in a minute. I'll probably give him a 2-shot for constructed. Venture swap, I think, can make some different use out of him.
Kenny, what do you think about this?
No, I think Brian hit all the points here. My main thing was that damage power. Like of all the things to talk about, that's what really shines because it's something different. Where he can give a Mantis invulnerability or a mindless one charge or whatever the case may be, while modifying one of the combat values. That is huge. Talk about being a team player. Now, granted, he goes down faster compared to the other characters. He doesn't have any safeguard outwit, things like that. So, it's very easy to say, oh, it's so easy to take him down, blah, 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 blah. But, at the same time, he does have stealth. There's not a whole lot of stealth busting. And, he hits hard. If you get lucky to pull him in the Prime, he's a quadruple shot. But he's most likely going to be, to me, he's 2.5 in sealed. I actually do think he's triple in constructed. I know Brian touched on it. I actually do think like if there is a play here, it's a 50-point line with the optional trait. What we were lacking in She-Hulk in that 50 line where she didn't have access, at least that one click of damage power, Sentry does. Sentry does have that team-friendly aspect of that damage power, which is huge. And if you KO him, he's not really KO'd. He turns into the Prime. It eats your Prime slot, so no Destroyer, no Magic Jasper. Sorry, guys. But it gives you longevity. It's an option, and we're going to get to that Prime Sentry in a second. But there's reasons why it's worth it, but let's not spoil it. But yeah, triple in constructed. I'm going to say 2.5 in sealed for sure.
Well, who are your Prime candidates for like giving out charge or invulnerable? 2.
In what?
In constructed
or sealed?
Yeah, in constructed.
Prime is at best candidates, not prime rarity candidates.
No.
Okay,
sorry, your best candidates. Your best candidates to give out. Like, who would you want to give out charge to or invulnerable to?
Oof.
I mean, there's a lot of different Avengers we're talking about this that are. Oh no, sorry. I gotta think about all the different Avengers. Yeah. All I know is that anytime a character gets outwitted with their impervious or invincible, having vulnerability is a good backup. Considering if they don't have penetrating damage, that's good. Having charge as an option is also good. If someone only is stuck on a flurry, has exploit, or doesn't have that move and attack, it's it's hard to think about the actual Avengers characters, but especially with this, that there's so many that just having the flexibility of granting a move and attack power or a reducer while modifying that character, it's perplex plus. So for that reason alone, you just don't ignore it. And then he doesn't just go away. He turns into another character, which we will go after or go over in a second.
Yeah, it's less about finding the character you want to have charge and being able to, in a situation, have access to charge when you need it. You're always going to be situations where you could just get your one character over a little bit and get the attack off. Sentry's there to make it happen. There are times where you have a character who's got running shot, side blast, or whatever, but opponents in stealth, they're the closest one to the fight. You can just give them that up on attack or movement and charge them over to make a melee attack they normally would never make. Mm-hmm. But you're in a situation where you need it, and he gives you that flexibility.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's take a look at the Prime then. Let's take a look at Sentry Prime. Sentry Prime is 100 points. Show the sculpt here. It's a pretty awesome sculpt.
Beautiful sculpt.
So he's 100 points. He's got Cosmic Energy, Team Ability, 6 range with a single target, 10 speed with hypersonic speed and flying, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast. He does have a special, a speed special and an attack special that he gets later in his dial. He has 19 defense with impervious, 4 damage with exploit weakness. Avengers, Brute, Cosmic, Dark Avengers, and Monster keywords. Improved movement destroys blocking, and improved targeting destroys blocking, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
His trait is hurl into orbit, which is I love this trait. When Sentry hits an opposing character with a close attack with a roll of 10 or greater that wasn't re-rolled by friendly characters, after resolutions, place the hit character in any square. Any square on the map.
Yep.
And then later he gets charge and flurry for his speed power, and his attack power that he gets later is penetrating psychic blast and steal energy, but for close and range attacks. So yeah, all right. So being able to hurl somebody into anywhere on the map. Brian, what do you think about Sentry?
Oh,
Sentry Prime?
I love that trait, but you can't get hung up on it. You're not running him to hurl things into orbit. You're running him for the plethora of penetrating damage, the steal energy for every attack he makes, the breaking down of walls, barriers, blocking. And then, hey, when you get lucky, you're set up for a bit of a kill box. It's yeah, he is a phenomenal piece. I give him a 3-shot sealed, maybe like a 2.5 shot for constructed. Definite, just solid, especially cheap for the body spring. They're God, I'm rambling a little bit. He's a absolute knockout of a figure. Yeah, how much more to say that? Like, you pull him, run him, and then come back for next week for the construct event and run him again.
Kenny?
No, I think he's triple all around. I think if we say the non-prime is triple because he has access to this character, then by definition, this has to be triple as well, because why else are you playing that other figure? Because, well, don't get me wrong, we talked about how charging vulnerable is useful, but you're not going to pass this up either. For 5 points, getting access to a figure who reduces penetrating damage, and if you don't take care of right away on any hit attack, can heal up, and he has charge flurry, so from click 7 to click 5, and you gotta deal with him. He has all the IT that you want. I don't think there's a whole lot of barrier in this set. I think Claw had it. I don't think there's a whole much, but still, maps have terrain, and he says, haha, I don't care, I'm Sentry. So he's a triple shot. The funny, cool thing you could do here, but you need to pull super rare to do this, is that you pull Immortus.
I was just going to say that.
He can replace the die roll, because that's not re-rolling the attack to help you hurl into orbit, but that's not. It's fun. It's going to make you laugh. It'll make your opponent cry, but you're going to get that off 1 out of like 100 chance or something really, really crazy, assuming you pull the right figures. But in any event, he's still triple espresso, single and sealed, constructed all the way around.
Yeah, for me, I think he's definitely triple in sealed. I think maybe in constructed, I agree more with Brian. He's maybe a 2.5. I mean, for 100 points, I don't know. He's a great attacker, but like I don't know. Maybe there's better options for attackers at that point value.
He's triple because of the optional trade, not at 100. No, at 100, he's definitely not triple.
Oh, you mean as being the
replacement for the non-prime.
Your prime slot for that other Sentry, correct?
Oh, that I agree with. Yeah, that I agree with. Yeah, that I think he's a triple for that. Yeah.
Yeah, you play him 100 on his own. He's fun, but he's definitely not triple. No.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the next figure in the set, which is Gorr the God Butcher. It's the next super rare. Set number 54. He has 100 points. He's 100 points. He's got the Cosmic Team ability, 6 range with a single target, 10 speed with the special and flying, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with invincible, 3 damage with close combat expert. Later on in his dial, he gets flurry and he gets a attack special. So his trait is slaying the gods. Gorr the God Butcher deals penetrating damage to characters that share a keyword with him or that have a higher point value than him. His keywords are Assassin, Cosmic, and Deity. He has his speed value is Flying, and it says Charge, Flurry, and Stealth. Okay, so that's his speed power, Charge, Flurry, Stealth. His attack power that he gains later is Pulse Wave. When Gorr the God Butcher uses it, each hit character that shares a keyword with him, including friendlies, or has a higher point value than him, is dealt damage equal to his printed damage value instead of 1, and after resolutions, heal him 1 click for each hit character. So could definitely be used situationally. I mean, four damage to everything. Pulse Wave's pretty crazy. Kenny, what do you think about Gorr the God Butcher?
I think Gorr the God Butcher, he brings damage, but the powers they're not incompatible. They're not as efficient as you think they would be. He has Charge Flurry with Blades, but Close Combat Expert, meaning he's getting a 4 damage. So you might want to roll Blades to do 5 or 6, but that's a 33% chance. And your min result's going to be -1 you're printed, which is 3, so it could be a 2. So, chances are you're not using that blade. And then he has that God Bomb, but he has it with Flurry. And then he has this trait that wants to share keywords, but he doesn't have exactly the greatest keywords within this set for Seal that many people would share. We just saw that Sentry. I think Thanos has Cosmic, but we're talking about super rares, which you're not going to come across very often. Most of the commons and rares do not have these keywords. So now they might be lower points. Yay, he deals penetrating damage, but it's like everything it's like you look at it, you read it like, oh, that's really cool, that's really good. And then when you apply everything to what this sealed environment brings, it's just like, well, okay, he feels like, you get excited and he's like, oh, well, I didn't need that trait. I kind of do that already since most characters are less points. That being said, like other characters we said, having character with 12 attack, 4 damage, Charge Flurry, he hides himself pretty well. That's not bad. He flies, he has Cosmic Energy, he can pull tokens off, you can't outwit him. For 100 points, he's solid. Is he the best super rare out of the ones that we looked at? Absolutely not. Is he a terrible figure? You're crazy if you think he is. I think he's a double espresso and sealed. He is potent. He will do work for you. Is he going to carry and win your sealed event? Maybe, but I'd rather bank on the other super rares that I saw. In constructed, he's herbal tea. I'm not going to even go into the reason why. I think we know why. So let's just move on.
Yeah, nothing more to say really. The trait where he deals penetrate damage to characters of a higher point value, but he's 100. There's very little in the set that's more than 100.
Oh, I said lesser. Oh,
yeah,
I meant higher. Yeah.
Right, or he shares a keyword, but there are not common keywords in this set. And we got Assassin. I think the Red Widow is another Assassin, maybe. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't reduce damage to begin with.
She doesn't have reducers, exactly.
Yeah, the two biggest threats of this set, the Super Rare Hulk and Super Rare Iron Man. Like, okay, cool, he can deal penetrating damage to them. That Pulse Wave is obnoxious. And then you remember that both of them
Thanos.
This is true. But then you remember Iron Man and Hulk both have stop clicks that are protected Pulse Wave and have 50-50 rollouts to get you out of the... He does a lot, but he's just not doing what you want him to do. Good values. And I agree with Kenny. 2-shot for sealed and herbal tea for constructed.
Yeah, I agree. All around with both your assessments. I think Gorr is a 2-shot for sealed and a 0 herbal tea for constructed. But maybe fun on casual nights if you like the character. If you like Gorr the God Butcher. I mean, his text is flavorful with him like slaying the gods and everything. So, all right, let's move on and look at the next super rare, which is Thanos.
Love this Thanos.
Set number,
Sorry.
yeah, this is like old school Thanos, right? Like,
Yeah.
set number 55. I think on the card it says like he's like it's referring to like his first appearance in Iron. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't remember what the significant appearances, but this is Thanos with the full gauntlet, that's beaten the Avengers, and is now like trying to ascend past eternity and Galactus.
I wouldn't get too caught up on how significant appearances are chosen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into details why. Because let's just little inside knowledge there. Just it just gets chosen and that's it.
Okay, so set number 55, Thanos. 250 points. He's got the cosmic energy team ability, 8 range with 2 targets. He's a flyer with 10 speed and running shot, 12 attack, 20 defense with impervious, 5 damage with prob, 3 stop clicks. Let's see. He has a trait, Thanos shall not rule alone. When Thanos starts the game, generate a Taraxia bystander. Let's take a look at Taraxia real quick. So Taraxia has 8 speed charge, 10 attack, super strength, 17 defense with invulnerable, and 3 damage with perplex. That perplex is always nice. And then
cosmic energy too.
And cosmic energy team ability, so it's not outwittable. And then and she gets to remove tokens, so she's got the willpower. So Thanos, he has that trait with the Taraxia. He starts with the Taraxia bystander. He has another trait to usurp eternity. Thanos starts the game with 6 mortal tokens. At the end of your turn, you may roll a d6, decreasing the result by -1 for each of his mortal tokens. If you do, gain mission points equal to the result, minimum 0. So, all right, and then so you want to continue to try to remove those mortal tokens in any way that you can.
Yep.
His next trait is Infinity Gem
Apotheosis.
Apotheosis.
I wanted to hear him say it.
Once per game per event listed below. When that event occurs, remove one of Thanos's mortal tokens. And these are the events that remove the tokens. Thanos uses willpower and succeeds. Thanos hits an equipped character. A friendly character named Taraxia is KO'd. Thanos heals 2 or more clicks in a single turn. Thanos uses impervious and succeeds. And a character's finalized attack roll is a critical miss. His defense power for his stop clicks is stop, impervious, super senses, regeneration as free. So it is possible to regen off those stop clicks and possibly heal 2.
You'll need the 5 or 6 result because stop does decrease regen rolls by 1.
So Kenny, what do you think about Thanos?
No. Triple shot. 3 stop. A lot of stop clicks in these supers. I'm noticing they don't want to die. I like that. That's a good quality to Winfield. Anyway, 250 points. So he's topping what Hulk and Iron Man does, but man, is it worth it? He brings a bystander. He brings a bystander that's probably gonna get KO'd and help you start generating these mortal tokens. A lot of these things in sealed, except for the hits equipped character, because there's no equipment in this set, are very doable and very possible in a sealed environment. Can he win a game on mission points in sealed? Yes, he can. This is probably one of the better ones that can do it without any outside help or constructed or things like that. Still unlikely. It's still improbable, but it is one of the better ones going on. That being said, he could also just kick your ass. He doesn't need mission points to win. He can beat you down and just win on his own. Or he could just deny you points because trying to take him down is going to be difficult. He has 3 stop clicks. He has free regen while he's on those stop clicks. And he has Steel Energy back end. He has massive numbers. He's always hitting you hard. I think his weakest damage point is literally his last click. But if he's on his last click and you don't get rid of him, he's probably going to get back onto click 7, 8, or 9, depending on what actually he does. All while rolling these usurp eternity tokens. So it's a ticking time bomb going up against Thanos. He is 100% a triple espresso in sealed. You pull him, you play him, and as long as you KO something worth points more than what you're giving up, you're in a good spot. You actually might want to be lame and run away a little bit and make them chase you, which is a very Thanos, I think there's another Thanos that likes doing that. I could be mistaken. Constructed wise, I would love to say he's triple and constructed. I like him a lot. There's this je ne sais quoi that scares me a little bit about playing him in constructed. I know you could give him equipment and things like that, but in that environment, people know what to bring and the tools best to deal with it. And as much as Thanos has going for him to prevent a lot of these tools, you can't go against the hive mind, the players, those top table players. He is probably 1.5 in constructed. He's 100% a triple in sealed.
Yeah, you pull this guy in sealed, you're gonna laugh all the way to the that first place finish. You play him smart, and unless someone else at the event pulled that Hulk or Iron Man, you basically have this in the bag. Phenomenal numbers. He can keep the pressure on your opponent by either getting up on points or even just running away and rolling them mission points. He's such a good figure for sealed. Constructed. Now I'm going to preface this with the fact that this is my favorite character in this set. Easy 3-shot. Definitely good. Don't listen to Kenny, who is basing this on things like facts and reasons. Just look in your heart and embrace the Thanos. That is my definite 100% objective, not at all embellished constructed take.
I don't know. I mean, you might be able to make mission points work in constructed. I think it might be interesting to do something with him.
Yeah, rose tinted glasses off. It's definitely possible. There are tarot cards you can use to help along, like the tower and all the mission point ones. But yeah, he's going to need help to function in constructed.
And with only 50 points,
there's not a lot of room for him.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and say it can't happen. Like, hell, playing him with Reptile in sealed and constructed is actually quite obnoxious. And if you just roll really well and let tarot cards do their thing and you rack up mission points, sure. But, if we're talking about a 3-round local event, yeah, you could win that. We're talking about, a WKO that's like 5-6 rounds with a top 8 or something like that. Sure. Maybe you get really lucky once. We're talking about nationals and worlds where you're playing maybe a day or two, 8 rounds, 6 rounds here, and against people who know exactly what they're doing or best of the best. You want to rely on dice that much? Ugh,
right.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, but I mean, as far as sealed, he's definitely a 3, and that would be an annoying team with him and Reptile.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the last super rare, which is Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror is, let's see, set number 56. He is 100 points. He's got the Minion of Doom and team player team abilities, 7 range with 2 targets, 8 speed with flying and a special, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with ranged combat expert. The keywords that he has are Council of Kangs, future, past, ruler, scientist, and warrior. He has approved targeting from adjacency. He has a trait that says bystanders on this card are Kangs through time, and each have max 1 leadership. When Kang the Conqueror uses it and succeeds, you may instead generate a Kangs through time bystander. He has his speed power is Master of Time, phasing teleport. When Kang the Conqueror uses it and moves 5 squares or less, after resolutions, he may make an attack. And then later on, he gets a defense power, super senses, and toughness. When Kang the Conqueror uses super senses and succeeds, after resolutions, heal him 1 click. If a 6 was rolled, heal him 3 clicks instead. Protected outwit. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good because that's protected outwit super senses is not bad. And then
no, it's not. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the bystanders. So we have Conqueror, who is 6 range, triple target with 6 speed, running shot, 11 attack, pen size, 17 defense, energy shield deflection, and 2 damage outwit. We have Immortus, which is 6 range with a single target, 6 speed with phasing teleport, 11 attack with precision strike, 17 defense with super senses, and 3 damage with probability control. And then we have Kang, just a bystander named Kang. 8 range with a single target. Are they all flyers? So I think
the Conqueror is not. Immortus is not. Kang is.
So Kang is a flyer.
Yeah.
8 range with a single target. So that's important. He has 6 speed with sidestep, 11 attack with pulse wave, 17 defense with invincible, and 2 damage with perplex. So I mean those are really good bystanders. You have all the pop powers, perplex, outwit, and prob. Brian, what do you think about this Kang, this 100-point Kang?
This is a good Kang. 7 range, the double target is great. You get the 5 square phasing, better than running shot. Then gets to do his attacks. He's got stellar values for those attacks, coming from range 13 for 4, double target, shoots at adjacency, so you can run up and base someone if need be and still shoot away from them. Yeah. I mean, and that's all before we even get to those bystanders, because those are some awesome bystanders. You know, you may only be able to get one of each at a time, but being able to roll that leadership and pull out the perplex, the prob, or the outwit you need, let alone the extra attacks. Easy 3-shot for sealed, and probably close to 1 for constructed too. We'll give him a 2-shot to be on the safe side.
Kenny?
No, I don't think there's much here to add. I love leadership roles. I love leadership effects. They're some of my personal favorites. I tend to roll well with leadership. So characters like this, when it comes to generating, and he generates bystanders, unlike the other characters that you actually need to have physical copies of in order to produce, which I do like that. I do think that's interesting, and it's better for constructed in home play. But in sealed, it's consistent because you don't actually need something there. You could just say, hey, I just generated this bystander, and voila, here I'm going to go. So for that alone, in a sealed format, that's better. He's a little soft, where 18 invulnerable in the super senses, when he gets hit, he's going to take damage. Thankfully, he can throw bodies in the way in those bystanders. He can make sure that it's hard to get to him. He can make sure that they're blocking line of fire. It's 100 points. There's other ways to protect him. He has team players. He can share defenders. There's defend in this set. All these great things. I do like that he can heal from the super senses, but man, if you do not hit those super sense rolls, and we saw how much damage some of these guys are doing, he can go down fast. That being said, you can't let that scare you. Take advantage of his range. Take advantage of his amazing mobility and his ability to generate very utility-friendly bystanders.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as generous as Brian in constructed. I want to like this character in constructed. I just don't see it. He's not friendly with any of the swap tech teams. He's 1/3 of your team build. You know, it's rough because the kit's good, but we beat this horse down. Constructed is just a beast of a format. He just misses the mark for me. I think he's single at best, espresso, but definitely triple in sealed.
I think I agree with you, Kenny. I think in sealed he's definitely a triple.
I just see the ability to wild card that Wonder Woman TA. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead.
In constructed and get those heals off on the 50/50 super senses. It's
then give him the bracelet, so now it's 6.6. It's almost like that mirror that always works for you.
Right, love that mirror.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I think I'd give him like a 1.5 in constructed, but I mean for sealed, I think he's definitely really good. I love those pogs though, the bystanders, like they're really good bystanders.
The pogs are great.
All right, so that Kang was the last of our super rares. So we're going to take a look at the chases now. So the first chase in Marvel Heroclix Avengers Forever is Soldier Supreme, set number 57. He comes in at 125 or 75 points. He has the Defenders and Mystics team ability, 6 range with 2 targets, 10 speed with running shot and flying, 12 attack with penetrating psychic blast, 18 defense with a special, and 4 damage with a special. His keywords are Avengers, Defenders, Mystical, Past, Soldier, and Warp World. I think a lot of these chases have the Warp World keyword. It's kind of a theme. So, and real name is Steven Rogers. So this is the mix between, this is the warped reality where Doctor Strange mixes with Captain America or Steve Rogers.
Yep.
So he has improved targeting, hindering, and characters. He has a trait, Watchful Eye of Agamashtor. Once per turn, when one or more friendly characters within range and line of fire would be hit, you may roll 2d6. If you do and your roll is equal to or greater than the attacker's finalized attack roll, the attack automatically misses all targets and all targets heal 1 click. Protected Pulse Wave. Then he has his defense power is Unbreakable Shield of Cytorak, combat reflexes, energy shield deflection, and invulnerability. At the end of your turn, choose close or range until your next turn. When an opposing character targets Soldier Supreme with an attack of the chosen type, modify their attack -1, which pairs really well with combat reflexes and energy shield deflection. And then he has a damage power, Hotwitzers of Hoggoth.
Howitzers.
I'm having a lot of difficulty pronouncing things today. Leadership, when Soldier Supreme uses it and succeeds, you may also heal 1 click on all adjacent friendly characters. Rules question with this is, okay, so for his trait, Watchful Eye of Agamashtor, it says when one or more friendly characters within range and line of fire. Does that include himself?
Yep, he is a friendly character, and characters always have range and line of fire to themselves.
Okay, so he's really hard to hit then.
Yep. No, he's got the gamma clap thing that Hulk does, but he does it for everything. It's only once per turn, though.
So,
right?
Yeah. He's not doing it for every single attack.
Yeah, Hulk can clap back every single time, but he just gets the
Hulk claps back every single time and deals damage. This guy is doing it once per turn, potentially healing your friendly characters. And similar but different.
All right, so Brian, what do you think about this
Uh,
form?
I'm going to preface this before we go into chases. All of the chases for me are 3 shots and sealed. There is not a bad chase in this set. So I'm really only going to be looking at to the constructed. Um, and constructed, uh, unfortunately, 125 points. I don't know that he carries constructed. It's definitely a potent toolkit. I can see him being a lot of fun to play, but I'm probably only going to give him a 1 shot for constructed.
Do you like his 75-point line at all, or?
Uh, I do. It's just,
Okay.
If there
yeah,
is a point line you're considering, it has to be 75. But
right.
it's
But even then, I feel like there's better options. But yeah, he's just so close to playable, I think, but I don't think he quite gets there.
Kenny, do you agree?
well, he's triple and sealed. I'm not going to beat the dead horse here. I think we know how potent he is. He's very team friendly. He heals characters 2 different ways. So and he has a very reliable. Should I say reliable? He has a very potent way of doing so with the watchful eye. Um, yeah. So constructed, I think I agree with Brian. I want to find a world where he fits because bringing that kit into constructed is quite good. And it's almost like I dare you to swing at me with my amazing 20 defense because I'm going to have either combat reflexes, ESD, and then an additional +1 based on the action type I called out. And you called this out, Anthony. Like that's an amazing tool altogether. It might be too efficient because it's all part of the defense trait. So that means one single outlet gets rid of all of it. So that unfortunately, it's funny. Like he's like, wow, it's amazing. He has all these things. Oh wow, one outlet takes it all away. In Seal, there's not a whole lot of outlet to deal with. In Constructed, yeah, there is. So it's probably a single in Constructed, triple in Seal.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a single single espresso in constructed. He's definitely a fun figure. I mean, like for like if he goes down in price, I would consider getting him as a chase. But like I don't know if I would go chasing after him for constructed play. No pun intended. So let's take a look at the next chase, which is Iron Hammer. Iron Hammer is set number 58. He comes in at 150 or 100 points. 7 range with 3 targets. Defender's team ability. 10 speed with running shot and flying. 12 attack with a special. 19 defense with a special. And 4 damage with a range combat expert. Armor, Asgardian, Avengers, Defenders, Scientists, Stark Industries, and Warp World keywords. I think this is the Iron Man / Thor.
Yep.
So he's carrying the hammer. He's got a trait, chest mounted Bifrost. Super senses, when Iron Hammer uses it and succeeds, instead of evading the attack, you may choose an opposing character within range and line of fire to become the hit target. He's got an attack power, Heimdall guidance system. Penetrating psychic blast, improved targeting, hindering, elevated, and characters. When Iron Hammer hits with a range attack after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to all untargeted opposing characters adjacent to a hit target. That's pretty powerful. And then he's got a defense power, armor of cold iron, runes of power, invincible, willpower, protected outwit. And the damage power that he gets later on is Mjolnir coming online. exploit weakness. When Iron Hammer hits with a close attack after resolutions, choose one. Each hit target is given an action token, or each hit target modifies attack -1 until your next turn. So, Kenny, what are your thoughts on this Iron Hammer?
We got another triple here in sealed. I love that he has these. The only thing you're really going to outwit is the attack power, but defensively, he is deceptively good. You look at all the pain he brings with offense, but he can bring it on defense as well. He has invincible willpower that you can't outwit. You could outwit the super senses, but if you don't, and he hits them, he's dealing damage with you. Like whatever you were swinging at him, he's delivering it back to someone else. There's a lot of things going on here with after resolution. In fact, it's sneaky damage, even the attack power. After resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage on a target opposing characters. You don't check for shape change. You don't check for ESD. You don't check for super senses. Once it's done, it's no longer an attack. If you were adjacent to that character, you're taking 1 penetrating damage, Hulk, or whatever, if he doesn't do the whole gamut.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say. There's a lot going on here. He has the damage power as well. He doesn't start with it. But when he gets to it, he could start slowing you down with giving you an action token or modifying your attack. I think if in constructed, I'm going to give him a double, because if you find a way to protect that trait with the super senses or give him the bracelets, make it so that is something that can't be taken away. He is a monster to deal with because he brings the defense with the offense. I don't think there is a way to do that. There are future sets coming out. He will be in Modern for hopefully 2 years or longer, and who knows what happens until then. We've seen characters that have been like adjacent friendly characters have Safeguard Outwit or something like that. I think She-Hulk was one of those characters. So if they do a cheaper version of that somehow, now we're looking at him and we're considering him. I mean, so I'm gonna say triple in sealed. I'm gonna say double in constructed.
Brian?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same spot as Kenny. That super senses is just screaming to be outwitted, but if your opponent doesn't have access to that outwit, or you force him to eat it up elsewhere, it is just a terrible thing to see happen. Taking that big, because you need to be swinging with good numbers to get past that invincible he's got, and having that attack just shunted off to one of your own figures. No one wants to see that.
I mean, you could put the Herald dial on him, right? Or
good, yeah. It's a tricky. It's tricky because you want to give the Herald dial to protect it, but you also want to give him the bracelets so he gets the Wonder Woman TA and gets that 50/50 senses. And you can't have your cake too. But yeah, like Kenny was saying, if we see a way come out that gives him that safeguard outwit or gives his defense powers protected outwit, I definitely think that we'll see a major upswing in his play. But as is right now, probably not going to be the thing was region for. So yeah, sealed 3-star, constructed 2.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Sealed is definitely a 3-star, constructed 2. And when you were playing him at constructed, would you play him at his top dial at 150 or would you play him at 100?
Probably at 100. Excuse me. I can maybe see someone doing the 150 line, but yeah, go for the 100. Give him the support he needs.
Yeah, I think for the extra 50 points and what you're actually losing on those 3 clicks, we're talking about +1 combat value on attack, defense, and damage. Yeah, it's 3 clicks. It's notable, but I think for the 50 points, you're better served playing a Felix Faust or someone that can help mitigate the risk of the trait being outwitted. Felix Faust does it well. That he's not a surefire thing, but he's a good response. So I think it's or equipment. There's other things I'd rather do with those 50 points than just say, hey, I hit you for 1 damage more, or I need one less attack to hit you.
All right, let's take a look at the next chase, which is Arachnite. Arachnite comes in at 100 or 60 points. He is set number 59. I believe this is the cross between Spider-Man and Moon Knight. He has Defenders, Mystics, and Spider-Man team abilities. At 100 points, he has 5 range with 2 targets, 10 speed with charge, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with invulnerable, 4 damage with perplex. He has 2 stop clicks, one on click 2 and one on click 6. He has improved movement elevated in characters and improved targeting elevated. He has a trait, a broken mind, the arachnid, the knight, the CEO, the scientist, stealth, super senses, free, choose one to last until you choose again. Hypersonic speed, flurry, shape change, or outwit. Then he has an attack power. I don't need help, I need targets. Precision strike once per turn. When Arachnite KOs an opposing character, you may roll a d6. On a 3 through 6, choose an opposing character, then place Arachnite adjacent to that character and make a close attack targeting that character. So that could be anywhere on the map where there's a figure that he could be placed adjacent. And then his stop clicks say stop, regeneration, toughness, and willpower. Brian, what do you think about Arachnite?
I love this Arachnite. Probably the star figure of the chases in the set, and one of the few characters where you look at him and you go, yeah, I'll run him at the high point dial over the low point. For that 40 points, you get a awesome suite of abilities. There's a lot of good stuff there to be said. The thing is, people have been pointing this out there, excellent to note that I don't need help, I need targets is not an after resolutions trigger. Which means that if he KOs someone, if he has flurry and he KOs someone with the first hit, he will get to port over to anywhere on the map before he gets the second and get the free attack in before the second attack of flurry. So he can do a lot of damage to your opponent's team. Yeah. For that 40 points, get the extra stop click, the better damage value of the flex, I would easily run him at the 100 points over the 60, and I have no problem giving him the full 3 shots for both sealed and constructed.
Kenny, what do you think?
So I don't necessarily disagree with Brian. I think I rather run him at the 60. I think I rather save those 40 points based on what my other pulls would be. If I really didn't pull that alpha attacker and I need that extra yeah, I'll pay the 100 points. But I think for 60, having the 1 stop click, saving the 40 points, starting with prob, and the combat values aren't that much different, is enough for me. He's no slacker at 100 points by any means, but that's just my slight preference, my slight difference than what Brian would say. I do think in constructed, he's got the kits I think you want him to have. But then again, it's just like I don't know. I think at 60 points, there's likelihood that he might be playing constructed. At 100, that's getting a lot. I'll give him a double in constructed. I'm going to give him a triple in sealed. Brian pointed out everything he needed to with the I don't need help, I need targets. So, you KO someone on the other side of the map, and then in the middle of your flurry, you go after the guy that Sentry hurled back to your starting area and finish him off. So it's like Colin from the Spider-Verse. We've seen that trait so many times, except he just takes it to another level.
Yep.
I think I'd give him a triple in sealed, maybe a 2.5 in constructed. He would definitely be a really good, solid attacker for a mystical or a scientist or Spider-Man family theme team. in constructed. I would like to I've been actually thinking about him maybe equipping him with a sword from X of Swords, like maybe the Muramasa blade. Would make him pretty dangerous to be bouncing around the
Yeah,
map.
not a bad call.
Nope.
So yeah, I think he's a solid figure. Possible 3 in constructed, maybe a 2.5, and definitely a 3 in sealed. And I think he's good on both point lines, 100 points or 60. I think he's good for both point lines. Let's take a look at the next chase, which is Ghost Panther. Let's take a look at his sculpt. This is another one with an awesome sculpt.
Yeah.
125 points or 75 points. At 125 points, he has the Defenders and Mystics team abilities, 4 range with a single target, 8 speed with special, 12 attack with blades, 18 defense with invulnerable, 3 damage with outwit. He has improved movement, elevated. This is the cross between Ghost Rider and Black Panther. He's got a trait, Predator of Zarathos, poison, but deals penetrating damage. When Ghost Rider attacks, modify his attack +1 for each target that has been damaged this turn, which includes his poison. He also has a trait, at the beginning of the game, generate a T'Chaka bystander. Let's take a look at T'Chaka. T'Chaka is 8 speed with charge, 11 attack with blades, 18 defense with the invuln, and 2 damage with exploit weakness. And
a giant.
And he's a giant size figure, so he can carry around Ghost Panther, I think. If you're a peanut size, you could still be carried, right? I'm assuming. Peanut based figure. Yeah, so you can carry around Ghost Panther. The speed power that Ghost Panther has is hypersonic speed and stealth. The attack power that he gets later on is Blades, Claws, Fangs, Steel Energy, but heals 2 clicks instead of 1. Kenny, what do you think about Ghost Panther?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't love peanut bases, but this is a good one. I do think he's definitely a triple espresso and sealed. He has the defense values get low, but he has such good ability to heal continuously. He's healing 2 at a time rather than 1. He has a hypersonic speed. He has charge. He has mobility for days. He has damage for days. He's just lacking in defense, but he has defenders, and we've seen defenders with 19 and things like that. We've seen other things that you could pair him up with. So if you get good pulls to make sure that he is hardier than he needs to be, it's there. It's possible. So he's still a triple. I don't like him as much as the other chases as of yet, but he's still very, very good. T'Chaka is also very good, helps him get around. I don't like that he's a giant, so he's very easy to target. But if he survives and doesn't, that's another attacker. That's a very, 2 damage blades. 2 damage blades, so you want to roll blades because the chances are you rolling a 1 are not in your favor. You're going to be doing big damage. Again, though, him being a big guy is a little bit of a turnoff, but if it works for you, it works for you. I still think he's a triple in sealed. All those things said, I think he's an herbal tea in constructed. I just don't see a place for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm willing to give him a 1 shot for constructed solely because I can see Avengers teams wanting to run him just to generate that T'Chaka bystander at the start of the game, and then swap him out with the Captain America. It's he will likely see build sheets. He will never see time on the map.
That is fair.
But he's in sealed. He's fantastic. You want him for a funzy game. He's going to do a lot of damage. He's got great, fantastic attack output, but he just doesn't bring anything that any team's really looking for outside of getting zooped right off the map and getting the game.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with both of you. I think I would say 3 in constructed, maybe a 2.5 in constructed. For me, just because of
He's
his
sealed.
I mean, sorry, he's sealed. Yeah, sorry, maybe a 2.5 in sealed instead of a 3. His defenses are a little low. I mean, but he does have a lot of healing. He also has a long dial with mystics. In sealed though, in constructed though, I think he's definitely an herbal tea. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the next chase, which is Miss Kang. Miss Kang is set number 61. She is unique. She's a chase set 50 points. Cosmic energy, team ability, 4 range with 2 targets. 4 clicks long, but has a stop click on click 4. She starts with 11 speed with facing teleport, 10 attack with telekinesis, 19 defense with super senses, and 2 damage with outwit. She has the Avengers, Champions, Council of Kangs, Future, Past, Warp World, and Young Avengers keywords. So this is Kamala Kang. This is Miss Marvel crossed with Kang the Conqueror. She has a trait. I can fix this. Shape change. When Miss Kang uses it after rolling, you may KO any number of friendly Chronal Echo bystanders to increase the result by X, where X is the number of Chronal Echo bystanders you KO'd. She has another trait. Probability control. When Miss Kang uses it after resolutions, you may generate a Chronal Echo bystander max 3. Then she has a defense power for her stop click. Stop barrier. When Miss Kang would take damage from an attack, you may instead KO a friendly Chronal Echo bystander within range, and then place Miss Kang in the square it last occupied. So, let's take a look at the Chronal Echoes. Chronal Echoes are 8 speed with plasticity, 10 attack with incapacitate, 16 defense with super senses, 1 damage with a special, and the special is probability control, but only if no friendly character named Chronal Echo has used probability control this turn. So, I mean, Miss Kang also has probability control herself. So, that's like a possible 2 probability controls you're getting out of her.
Yeah.
So, not too shabby.
Brian, what do you think about her?
I love Miss Kang. This is a great support figure, real obnoxious tie-up. You're gonna be getting almost guaranteed 2 Chronal Echoes every round. One from you, one from propping yourself, one from propping your opponent. Does cap out at the 3, but like that's all you need really. The I don't know what else I can say here. Just fantastical tie-up, fantastical support. Difficult to KO. All the probs you could ever want. In sealed, I still give her a 3-star, even though she's not going to carry you, but she's going to give your team everything it needs to carry through. And with constructed, I could see her edging to 3-star as well. She's point denial. People love being able to not give up points, and she is a lot of work for your opponents to get anything off of her.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, she's triple both sealed and constructed. She's Avengers, so she already has a place on those swap teams. She already has a place to be an obnoxious figure, like Brian said. Another thing you can do, which most people probably won't do, is that you generate all these Chronal Echoes and you don't utilize them for the shape change. You stay on that stop click, and now every time she gets hit, she could just KO one of them to take the damage, and then she gets to poof in their place. So it just gives her like additional stop clicks per se. I get that most people are probably going to want to do the other way, so that way she stays top down the shape change, but just letting you know there are other uses beyond it. And you might get both, because you might burn through the shape change, might get hit anyway, and then all of a sudden you keep on staying alive. She's amazing. She is Thanos' best friend. You pull Thanos and Miss Kang, I don't see how you lose. God hates you. The world hates you. Dice hates you. Isaac Newton hates you. Someone hates you. I don't know what it is, but with all those rollouts and all that sustainability, I just don't see how you give up any points. But I'm sure it'll happen, and I'm sorry for that person that it happens to. Hopefully, it's not me. Yeah, no, there's nothing more to say. She's triple and sealed. She's triple and constructed. You get her. You play her in any format you can. If you want to win, have fun, or annoy your opponent. Also, Young Avengers.
Young Avengers, yes. Yeah, that's probably the best sub theme in the set is Young Avengers. I think even better than like Winter Guard. I think is Young Avengers. So yeah, I think with her, I think she's definitely a triple and sealed. I mean, as long as you pulled solid attackers, and you have that prop, you have that tie-up piece, she's great. And constructed, I might give her a 2.5 because, just with the current like competitive field, I think even 50 points is kind of a lot for support right now. I don't know, but I mean, she does a lot of other things. She's not just support; she can be a tie-up piece as well. So, I think she's definitely usable. I definitely think she'll be used and constructed. I'd give her a 2.5. Not completely sold on her yet, but
yeah.
Let's take a look at the next chase after Miss Kang. Is Little Monster. Little Monster is 100 points. This is Ant-Man, Scott Lang combined with Bruce Banner, the Hulk. Zero range with a single target, 8 speed with a special, 11 attack with super strength, 17 defense with invincible, 3 damage with exploit weakness. He does have a kind of a traditional Hulk dial where he gets stronger he gets higher values later in his dial. I think his last click is 13 attack, 19 defense, and 5 damage. So he has improved movement, blocking, and characters. He has a trait: the madder I get, the smaller I get. When Little Monster hits or is hit, give him a Jade Gem token. Little Monster can use the following effects based on the number of his Jade Germ token. Okay. Based on the number of his Jade Germ tokens. Plus 1 token, he has tiny size. 2+ tokens, he has super senses. 3+ tokens, he has close combat expert. And these stack, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
and then 4+ tokens, he has when Little Monster rolls for super senses. After rolling, you may remove any number of Jade Germ tokens to increase the result of the roll by that amount. And after resolutions, you may heal him equal to the number of Jade Germ tokens removed. He's got a speed, power, charge, flurry. When an adjacent friendly character makes a range attack, after resolutions, you may place Little Monster adjacent to a hit target. So that's fun with. I guess that would be fun with Legacy Thanos. Just shoot them 10.
Yeah. see through everything, deposit the whole. Yeah.
And then the attack power: smash puny atoms, close, destroy all blocking terrain within 3 squares, and make a close attack targeting all opposing characters within 3 squares. Each hit character is dealt 3 damage instead of normal damage. That power comes on clicks 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So,
nice.
All right, Kenny, what do you think about this Little Monster figure?
He's deceptively good. I think I'm still going to give him a triple and sealed, but he's kind of in that Ghost Panther range with me where it's just like These other guys are like, wow, I want to play these guys. These other chasers are like, oh, these chasers are good, but oh man, I really wanted to play with those other ones. He could still do work. He's still pretty good. He's very susceptible to outwit, but thankfully, there's not a whole lot of outwit this set. But yeah, that back dial is amazing. The fact that he could get flung across the map with people with the 7 range. There's a lot of shield that we saw in the lower rarities, and just being able, it's, I don't want, I guess call it a free TK. That's like crazy range. But yeah, you just place him and then he just does things because he didn't move there. He didn't take an action there. He's just there. And now he can charge flurry you. He can rack up probably 2 J Germ tokens. Now he's tiny. Now he's super sensitive. And now his defense goes up. If you try to range him, now he can evade. And that's how he gets rolling. That's pretty much what it is. I think for 100 points, it's a lot, but he brings it to the table. I think efficiency wise, there's other characters I rather have, but you know, if I pull as my chase, I'm going to make him work because it really is that speed power that sells it for me, that pushes him over the edge. Yeah, attack power too is nothing to shake at either. I don't think there's a whole lot of barrier in this set, but if the maps have a lot of blocky terrain, it could be quite useful. It's sneaky damage. I do think in constructed at 100 points and not having a second lower line, unfortunately, the kit's not good enough. He's probably an herbal tea.
I don't know. I could see him pulling through in constructed. I'll only give him a high 1 shot, low 2 shot for constructed. But I mean, with his values spiking up down the end there, he's got a lot of healing potential. We mentioned Thanos. I don't necessarily think Thanos is going to want to run him. Thanos wants his blocking pit crew more.
Yeah.
But I do think there are teams that are going to try to make him work, and I think they might find some success. He has the ability to put out a lot of damage in a very small package. Easy 3 shot sealed. I'll give him 2 shot for constructed. I'm pulling a bet on the Jade Germ here.
Yeah, I think he's a 3 shot and sealed. I think maybe I'd give him a 2 shot and constructed. He's got some potential. Also, thing to point out about him also is that when you do use that gamma grenade power, where an adjacent friendly character makes an attack, a range attack, after resolutions place a little monster adjacent to a hit target, he doesn't necessarily have to attack that hit target because he has improved movement characters, so he can then get placed next to a hit target and then charge flurry a different target, which is kind of cool because he gets a lot of movement there. So pretty large range there. So all right, let's take a look at what do we got next. Green Widow. So we have 2 chases left. We have Green Widow. Let's take a look at her. She comes in at 100 or 50 points. All right. I think this is like Hulk or She-Hulk combined with Black Widow.
Yep, She-Hulk, Black Widow.
And she has, at 100 points, she has team player, team ability, 4 range with 2 targets. 10 speed with a special, 12 attack with a special, 18 defense with invincible, and 4 damage with perplex. She has the Avengers, Martial Artist, Spy, and Warp World keywords. She has improved movement, destroys blocking. She has a trait, Law School in my mind, Green Room, Training in my blood. Free, choose a set of colors and then choose 1 standard power matching each color. Green Widow can use the chosen powers until your next turn. So she can either pick green and lime green or black and red. And I've been thinking about what different combinations are good with that. And then her speed power is leap climb. When Green Widow is given a move action after resolutions, generate a hindering terrain marker in her square, and if she moves 5 squares or less, she may make an attack. So keep in mind, this was just like the Kang the Conqueror, where he can make an attack. It could be range or close. So after resolutions make an attack, she does have 4 range with 2 targets. So you can use, possibly pick red. You could pick range combat expert. Also, you could pick black, so you could pick stealth, and she makes her own hindering. Her attack power is gamma powered grappling, knockback. When Green Widow knocks back one or more characters, she may choose the direction of the knockback, and after resolutions, you may place her adjacent to a character she knocked back. All right, so start with Brian. What do you think about Green Widow?
Well, I'm going to stand by the thing I made before that all of these are 3 shots and sealed. But as far as constructed goes, I think she's herbal tea. Yeah, I have a cat. Sorry, he's being very obnoxious right now. The even at 50 points, I just don't think she's really bringing a lot to the table that you can't get elsewhere. It's nice. She isn't bad, but there's no teams in constructed that are lining up to run her. Herbal tea for constructed, 3 shot for sealed.
Kenny?
I gotta agree with Brian. She's hyper efficient. You know how he said Gorr had all these powers, but we feel like he was missing the mark when it came to efficiency and being able to put them all together. She's the opposite. She is lovely. She can pick all these things and she can make them work wonderfully. She has access to 16 standard powers, not all at the same time. She has, well, maybe 15, because I don't think anyone's ever picking Earthbound Neutralize. But you get what I'm trying to say here, where she can do, I make my own cover. She makes her own hindering range. Now she can pick stealth. If she goes to 5 squares, she can easily pick red for flurry. So now, and black. So she can do flurry stealth. So she goes in position, puts the hindering terrain down, flurries. Now she's covered in stealth. If she needs to be defensive with the green and lime green, that's counter reflexes, that's energy shield deflection, super senses, regen for black and red. There's range combat expert, enhancement. If she wants to get +1 damage, she could just do that. There's a lot of things she can do here. Triple for sealed. You would think that is appreciated in modern, but modern is a bitch. If she's not doing something that's like game altering and warping, it's not going to work. She would need to be 25 points with a kit like this, maybe 2 clicks, and then she would be considered. Unfortunately, though, for 50 points, that's just a tad too much. She's not giving anyone protection from something that's a threat, or she's not doing something that's game altering, which is unfortunate because she, like I said, hyper efficient. Triple in sealed. I'll give her 1. I'll give her 1. I'll give her a single in constructed.
Yeah, I'd give her a triple in sealed, 1 in constructed, and I would say also, like, it might be fun just for casual to put together a team of like Hulk based figures. I mean, there's a lot of Hulks in this set, so just a team of all green people. I mean, it would be really cool. So a bunch of Hulks. So all right, so let's take a look at the last chase in the set, which is Dormammu Red. Dormammu Red is set number 64. Comes in at either 64 or comes in at either 250 or 100 points. And it is the cross between, I believe, Dormammu and Red Skull. So at 250 points, he has Cosmic Energy, Hydra, and Mystic's team abilities. 8 range with 2 targets. 12 speed with Running Shot. 12 attack with Penetrating Psychic Blast. 19 defense with a special. 5 damage with a special. Cosmic, Deity, Hydra, Mystical, Past, Soldier, Warp World keywords. Improved movement, elevated, blocking, and characters. He has a trait. When Dormammu Red hits, give him a plotting token. Dormammu Red considers characters within X squares to be adjacent, where X is the number of his plotting tokens. Then he has another trait, Priest of Hell, Leadership and Mastermind and Poison. When Dormammu Red uses Leadership and succeeds, you may also generate a set number 3 Hydra agent on click 1, or a set number 7 Mindless one on click 1. If a 6 was rolled, you may instead generate both. He's got a defense power, drag you to the dark dimension. Invincible, when Dormammu Red is hit by an attack, the attacker immediately gains immobile until their next turn, even if this power is lost. So that's during their turn, though, that they gain the immobile, because...
yeah.
Okay. And then the damage power is My Perfect Plan, Perfectly Executed, Outwit, and Perplex. When Dormammu Red hits with an attack, you may remove up to 3 plotting tokens and increase the damage dealt this attack by the amount of plotting tokens removed. Kenny, what do you think about this Dormammu?
Triple espresso. It's quite amazing. The kit that he brings, he definitely does get better if you pull Hydra Agent on mindless ones, because that's Mastermind fodder, but he's also 250 points, so anyone could be Mastermind fodder, like Reptile. And yeah, the plotting token thing, he gets some nasty tricks with the poisons, and he can extend the reach of Mastermind because it just says characters within X squares. It doesn't say friendly, it doesn't say opposing. That's everyone. And then My Perfect Plan, I don't think that's going to be, that's a sexy thing, but that's not what you're playing him for. If you get it off, great, to deal an extra 3 damage, potentially 8 damage, or whatever it is you want to do. He has all the IT that you want. He has good range. He has Mystics. He has Hydra. Back dial region with high defense numbers to make that Mystics really sting a little bit more. He is dynamite. I guess his weakness is he doesn't really have reduce. He has invincible. Never mind. I thought he didn't have invincible. Never mind. No, he's hardy. He's good. Yeah. I think in constructed 250 is not where you want to play him. That's where Thanos lives. 100, however, that's something to work with. He has the keywords for it. He has mystical, soldier. There's a lot to work with here. And then with constructed, you could bring as many mindless ones and many Hydra agents, and you can have a lot of fun here with the plotting tokens and things like that. And he is a menace. I think he has double espresso potential when it comes to constructed. He is triple espresso when it comes to sealed.
Yeah, full agree with Kenny there. The only thing you really got to worry about is Beast or Cosmo or Scarlet Witch taking away that Mastermind, because he does have a very shallow dial for 100 points, but without one of those very narrow cases of characters that can strip powers from him, there's a lot of attacks you gotta throw before he even takes a single click of damage. Yeah, he will just be eating the those mindless ones to save himself and dish out the penetrating damage to your opponents. Easy 3-shot in sealed, even if you don't pull a mindless one, or hydration, but fantastic if you do. And yeah, I can see him maybe pulling 2 shots in constructed. He does bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. I think this Dormammu is going to be a probably a 3 in sealed for sure, and at 100 points, maybe a 2 in constructed. So yeah, I agree with both of you. Especially producing all of those generics and creating his own mastermind fodder. So. That's it for the super rares and the chases. Brian and Kenny, any final thoughts on the set as a whole?
It's a fun set. I'm really digging these dials. I don't think this is the most meta-defining set we've seen. It's certainly no Disney Plus, but these characters are fun, and there's a lot of little nifty tools here that I think a couple meta teams are going to want to dig into.
This set kind of reminds me a little bit of House of X, where House of X, when it first came out, people were hesitant about it. Like, oh, there's really cool things here, but some things stuck out instantly. Then Rise and Fall came out, then X of Swords came out, and then all these Empire came out, and all of a sudden you start putting these things together. Now Jubilee's being played more, and all these figures are being played more. So I think we haven't really had an Avengers set. We've been getting a lot of X-Men sets actually, and I think Disney Plus was somewhat Avengers. And this lays the groundwork, and this will how do I say it? This will age well. I do think as more sets come out, I would imagine more Avengers sets are going to be coming out. I mean, unless Wizards has some secret deal with mutants that I don't know about, that they have to put like 2 or 3 a year. But I feel like this is laying the groundwork. There's some good things here. It's going to age well, like some of the older sets did. I will also just say that I know you don't play legacy cards when it comes to sealed, but Brian mentioned briefly as one of the counters to Dormammu Red, Cosmo. We talked about Kazar, we talked about Reptile, I think Miss Kang. We're talking about like instant, absolutely meta-defining, could find a home. Like, we put a gun to our head and we had to name 3 figures that are going to be meta relevant. Those are it. Cosmo's another one for sure. If you don't want to deal with barrier, he picks barrier as a power action. You just carry him up. Now you don't have to deal with barrier. You're playing against that triple APOC team, and you don't want to deal with him generating these bystanders. You select leadership. Granted, he can still generate them through the power, and I think other things like that. But he doesn't want to do that. You don't want to deal with the mastermind. You take away mastermind. I think you want that Cosmo. That's something you want to go out and get. I think Agent Coulson for Shield teams. He's a great sideline active figure. That's another one. That 50-point Captain America, Smoky Feet Cap. He was amazing back then. He's amazing now. I know we don't have time to go all over those, but those are some of my final thoughts where the figures that we talked about that were good for sealed and constructed, and those 3 that are definitely going to be helpful for your toolkit when it comes to competitive needs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really.
And MODOK. MODOK's a lot of fun.
MODOK's a lot of fun. I think that Cosmo is definitely going to be meta-defining legacy figure. I think the set overall is going to be great in sealed. It looks like a really fun, balanced set in sealed. A lot of different things you could pull that are really strong, and there are a lot of counters to those pulls as well. So you could play with a big tent pole, or you could end up with like a swarm team and still do well. And I think that we'll start to see more Avengers swap teams as well. I think Avengers swap. I mean, there's a lot of strong Avengers obviously coming out of the set because it's an Avengers set. So, but yeah. So thanks for joining me, Brian. Thanks for joining me, Kenny.
Thank you for having us.
Everybody at home, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks.